What's going on, y'all? Another week, another geek. We are back at it with another episode of the Why I'm Geek show, episode 112 to be exact. And today, it's another week of Loki, bro. But before we get into that, Chris, how you feeling today, Brody?
Bro, I'm sore. I've been doing them squats.
Oh, okay.
My legs ain't feeling it. I could barely walk. I've just been getting back into lifting heavy with my legs, and bro, it hurts. Like them muscle soreness or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
It's no joke. And when I go to work, I go upstairs.
Oh.
I felt so bad. Like I was like, I don't want to look sluggish, but I was hurting walking upstairs, bro. But
Yeah.
we gonna make it. We getting stronger, and
Don't skip leg day, fellas. Don't skip leg day.
How you been, G?
I'm good. I didn't skip leg day this weekend after 2 weeks, and I'm feeling it as well. I went on a little walk today though, so I think I walked it out. But it's definitely
That's what I gotta do.
it's definitely gonna hurt. Like after you ain't done it for a while, like yeah, it gets tricky, bro. But speaking of getting tricky, today we're gonna be talking about Loki, and this episode, what episode is it? 2? Or 3? 3. Okay, so obviously we're starting out in Chicago, but before we get into that, Chris, what is the stamp or not for this week, bro?
Stamp or nah?
Yes, sir.
Should they reboot the MCU?
Oh, I'm a stamp, bro. And you know why? I miss Iron Man. I missed Captain America. They need to do something, bro. Because at this point, like, not so much like the main continuity of like what we're used to seeing. So like all these legacy characters like Loki and stuff like that, like they get a pass. But not having a leader right now, not having a real direction in where we're going, other than like who the big bad is, it's tricky, bro. It's tricky, and I'm here for a reboot. Not necessarily everything, but I just want stuff to make sense again. Like, cause the official like sacred timeline and how universes work, I feel like they ain't hit it right on the head yet. And there's still a lot of loose ends from Sony to Netflix to like what's going on Disney Plus, which just has been like if y'all have heard the last few pods, like this Disney Plus project, man, it's cool, but it's like it's not what I thought it was gonna be. So that's why I'm gonna stamp the reboot. Chris, how are you feeling about it, bro? Does Marvel need a reboot? Stamp or no? Talk to me.
Nah, they don't need one. They're gonna have to figure out how to fix this. I spent way too long, too much money on all these movies for them to just reboot this thing real quick. I want them to somehow take their time, put in another 20 years worth of work, and pay it off again. I need this timeline, time travel, different multiverses to pay off, bro. I need it. And if they do reboot it, I'm not gonna hate it.
Yeah.
But dang, like they gonna make me
a reboot is crazy, bro. And maybe not so much.
I think that's all I'm saying. It's so crazy to reboot something that I done already spent 200 plus hours on,
Mm-hmm. Maybe not so much like the whole MCU. Maybe just reboot some characters. Maybe get a couple recasts here and there. As far as
that's
like,
not bad.
What these characters doing? Because they need some help, bro. They need some help, and it's like it didn't really hit me until after Ahsoka on how much like I really thought about the way that Star Wars plans things out, because it's not like so much in a straight line. Like they jump around a lot, right? But as far as like their trilogies go, like their main continuity like movies, they're spaced out far enough apart where they could spend a lot more time filling in the blanks, where it all just like it's like glue, and I feel like that glue is where you get some of their best work to me, you know, and hash out a little bit more of those big ideas. But that's another talk for another day, you know. Today it's time to get into this, bro. Chicago, 1868. What's the day? And we get the glimpse at He Who Remains. Chris, how are you feeling about this episode? Just like in the broad sense. Ooh, the
So,
silence.
so this one's a little rough for me because I do like it,
Yeah.
but to me, I left with so many more questions than I had answers, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a long episode.
Mm-hmm.
So overall, I like it because we finally got Kang. I've been waiting for it, but I mean, to be
Victor
honest,
Timely.
yeah, there are so many more questions now that I kind of feel like, all right, well, I need next week's episode. Like,
Mm-hmm.
not that it's a bad episode. It's just like, dang, like more. I need more answers right now.
Okay.
So, overall, Kang was interesting to see him in this element.
Mm-hmm.
Was a little different portrayal than I expected. But the main thing I liked the best was he was this weird type of con man.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me wonder, like, how much is he leading everyone on entirely? You know?
Okay. Okay. I would have to concur. I didn't like this episode until we saw King. I thought like I feel like they have so much to talk about, but they spend a lot of time just like not talking about it, bro. You know, like I feel like it didn't get good until everybody like kind of met in the middle. You know, probably like Ferris wheel time. Like obviously seeing um King in this instance where he's Victor Timely. You know, this is what was it? They said the Chicago something fair, something historical. I forgot. I remember learning about it back in the day, but it's similar to like the times where they had the Stark conventions type thing, where you see people have all these inventions and things they've been working on and sharing it with the public, right? So I feel like that aspect really was cool to see because you can see the range. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, Jonathan Majors don't play, bro. Like he can do anything at this point, bro. But acting wise, I don't know everything else going on, but we'll save that for another day or possibly never. We'll see. But yeah, man, like I like the episode at the end because I'm starting to understand people's true natures a little bit more, and I like that. We still have no real answers to the big questions, like you were saying, but I feel like we got some key character moments in this episode. And the one I want to start with is Victor Timely, aka Kang the Conqueror. Now, to me, the biggest thing that got pointed out in this episode was partnerships. Partnerships. Kang don't do partnerships. And it's that mentality that drives him. And I feel like we got to start to see little remnants of it. Now, how do you feel about that aspect of his character that they finally kind of like put words to?
I mean, it's kind of uh clear that when they say he doesn't do partnerships to the person trying to buy his invention, how it like comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, it's kind of like he who remains is all alone anyway. So he clearly doesn't do partnerships, and it's just a big character um aspect that's just revealed in this episode that it makes sense. This dude's probably all about power, and we'll probably see it as future episodes go along. And he is conning people. He is getting whatever he wants. He's doing whatever he wants. Uh, and when you think about the TVA, he's controlling everything. So
Mm-hmm.
um, there is no partner in that. It's he who remains, and it makes me even wonder, kind of going back to my point that he's a con man, when he gave Loki and Sylvie the option at the end of season 1, was that a con too? Because he already had the plan on how to make himself he who remains. You know, he said, "Oh, I'd end up back here," but he literally enacted a plan to send the book back to get dropped off at his door. You know, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
like it all just feels like a con. Like he purposely set it in motion again, so he would start the multiversal war and then be right back on top as he who remains.
Okay. I like that. I like that because it gets me to think about uh what is a con? You know, like when does it go from being a con to um being able to have this discussion about like freedom in the sense of free will? Um so if we think about He Who Remains at the end of Loki season 1, that man was tired of doing what he was doing. He was tired of his job, you know.
But was he?
I think so because at the end of the day, check this out. Regardless of who ends up on the throne in the end, it's still going to be a different king. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same variant, but it's still going to be king. And I think for me in this episode, like talking about like just the beginning where Renslayer and Miss Minutes first put Victor Timely on his journey and dropped that book off, it really had me like, yo, like, okay, even in his free will of saying like I'm going, like this is how it's going to work regardless, I got this contingency plan to make sure that things happen the way that they should. Is he kind of himself now? Like who is the real winner in all of it?
Like I said, Kane don't do partners. It's him. He's a power hungry dude that only cares about himself, and it's clear as day. Even when Renslayer was trying to team up with him from the get go, he had that mindset of, I don't split with nobody. I don't go halfsies. It's all about me and my desires. And it kind of seems the same way when he said like, "Oh, I'll give you guys this choice," or "I'm tired. I'm gonna let you guys do it." It doesn't seem real now. Like now that we see his origin and his mindset, why would he drop off the book if he was really if he truly believed what he was saying? There's no need to pretty much create Kang. He created himself on purpose because he wanted to put himself back on the throne. You know, it's pretty much like he is just doing it over on purpose, and he's like, instead of like, oh, I'm not gonna know what's happening next, and it's like, P.S. If I die, drop this book off exactly at this door, so then I can come back here at this location. Like
But
that's what I'm saying.
also,
It's like a weird to me. This is
yeah.
revealing he's a con man.
Oh, he's a con man now. Okay.
No, I mean
So
they show hints of it at the convention. Like he's
yeah.
showing off the invention, it's breaking. He's showing off these other inventions they're breaking, and it's even
He paid
hinting
off the dude at the
he paid off
bar.
the dude to help raise the bidding.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about him having the book, he's not even the person who invented this stuff. You know, it's
He
like
didn't
you
write it. No, he didn't write the book.
exactly.
He didn't write the
So it's like
book.
you're passing off all this stuff
Mm-hmm.
off, and
But
when you think about that Kang and then the future Kang, can you take anything the future Kang words seriously? You know, and Loki and Sylvie both looked at each other and wondered, you know, can we trust? Like, is he saying what is he what is he saying? Is it
yeah,
true? Can we even risk it? You know?
yeah. But okay, so I'm gonna play devil advocate at this point, right? So really, depending on who you ask, you could say he who remains is actually the good king. Because after all of the things that he went through to get to this point, by being all the rest of the kings, making one singular timeline, he's stopping the inevitable, which is destruction for rest of the world. So, in that sense, there's always going to be one person that's like takes away that free will by making one timeline. But the result of not having one timeline is the chaos that we're about to see.
Yeah, but I think Sylvie
So is
kind of
that really
hinted
a
at.
con? If he wants them to take
Yeah, because
over?
it's him. Do you see what I'm saying? He does it.
Yeah, but if they take over for him, he doesn't have to do it anymore. And there's no more
But
Kang at all.
but him giving the book to Renslayer was not based on like, oh, you're saying if I die, automatically give the book back. Like did you think He Who Remains was just gonna
Yes.
retire and walk away and never do anything ever again?
No, he can't retire. He can't retire.
No,
Well,
if they would have went with Loki's plan, like we'll take
Yeah.
over the TVA, blah blah blah. What do you think He Who Remains would have done?
I don't think he has to die, for one.
Yeah.
So if he does go off, he can do whatever he wants at that point. But
Yeah.
Because he does die and they don't take over, his whole thing was that he was done. He didn't want to live anymore. He's living for eons, right?
Yeah.
So,
and he pretty much said that if I die,
yeah,
I'll just be right back here in a little bit. Like
if I die and you don't take over, then that's what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So
But it's
really,
a plan that he put forward. Like he is the one who, if I die, go back in the past and drop off a book. You see what I'm saying?
yes, that was in Ms. Menace's programming for that to happen.
From Kang.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, con man. Like it's literally
But
like
it's not.
I'm
But
giving you choice, but I've already made the choice that I'm gonna come back here.
But it's not him though. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand where I'm at. Like I understand like the nature of him inevitably getting back to the same spot, but that wouldn't happen if they took over. It would still be one continuous timeline, and there would be no Kang, and the TVA would still be the TVA. It's just once you understand the full scope of what it takes to create the TVA and getting rid of variants and things like that, the question is at that point comes to morals and like, are you okay with pruning a person because they stepped out of line, right? So for Kang at this point, if he doesn't come back, the whole world is done anyway. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's
that's why I'm saying we're seeing.
It's what he knows now, though. But it's what he knows because he's been through it. Type beat. You making me seem like an apologist, bro. Why does this always happen?
Yeah, because it's just we see the original nature of why he's thinking the way he's thinking. He doesn't do any partnerships. He doesn't believe anyone else can do what Kang does. It has to be him. So like even
obviously he thought Loki and them could do it.
But that's why I'm saying we see the little snippets of it. He does not. It looks like a con. It's like I'm gonna give you the option to will you give me $100 or will you not? But I know you're gonna give me the $100. You know,
bro.
but I'm gonna make it seem like that. Because even when he pleads to Sylvie, he's
pleading for his life, not necessarily for good nature.
And he's like, well, I haven't done any of these bad things you're talking about that. Exactly. I'm not like them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
you're right, bro. You're right.
And Sylvie is realizing Kang robbed people of their choices. Like that was the main reason why she was against them. Like these people in branch timelines has their own choices, and he's pretty much saying, too bad, doesn't matter. That determination is not good enough. Your life's gone. And for Sylvie not to take Kang's life right there is going against knowing kind of like what you'd be. But Kang, I'm telling you, is doing the thing where it's like, I'm giving you the choice. I haven't done none of this bad stuff. I'm not. And then it's like, even when he dropped off Renslayer, bro, or what Yeah, Renslayer.
Yeah, Renslayer. Yeah, Ravonna.
Yeah, I
Ravana.
was like, bro,
Yeah.
Miss Minutes is like, yeah, I knew, like,
Yeah, she
we go.
know. Yeah.
As soon as she said partnership, uh, Miss Minutes was like, "Yep, look,
Got her.
we don't
Yeah,
do none of
he
that."
took that hand right back. He thought she was
No,
about to be a buzz down. He was like, "Nah, I can't." We drop her down into this water.
exactly, exactly. So it's just
Nah,
kind of like
Chris,
Miss
you're
Minutes
right, bro.
knows his nature already,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and that's why all I'm saying is like that partnerships, and then me seeing
Wow.
how he started up and how he got the book. I was like, this is the same dude. This guy, this is how he gets there,
Dang.
and it's
So
just little snippets.
it's that true nature that they keep harping back on, because in the episode they not only talked about his, which now you're saying that he's a con artist, which makes a lot more sense, and then also with Loki and Sylvie, how they flip flop,
Yeah,
depending on whose side they're on, and even like it's like for Loki, it's like you have to really take him there because he doesn't want to do these things. Like,
yeah, but Loki's thinking like you're thinking,
yeah,
like it is what he's doing. Is this the best option?
mm-hmm.
But Sylvia is like, why
Sylvie's
should we even trust this dude? Like,
yeah, like
he's
Sylvie's
telling
thinking,
us it's the best.
yeah, Sylvie's thinking like macro. I know what it's like. I've been through this my whole life of like what it's like when somebody makes that choice for you. And Loki's
Yeah,
thinking on the micro level of like, yo, the TVA might be inherently bad, but
yeah,
like
you got
they're still people that are in the TVA, and if we don't do something, they're all gonna die.
it. Yep.
So it's like sacrifice a few for the many type beat, and
Yeah.
that is crazy, bruh. I did not
Yeah.
think about that. That is insane. Oh man, this show's good. Hey, clap it up for Chris, y'all. Clap it up for Chris. He really broke that joint down.
I'm about
man.
to be wrong next episode. That's how it'd be.
Nah, cause like him being a comment, cause I did get that. I did get those, like, notice those patterns of like he'll say whatever he needs to say in that moment
Yeah.
to just like either get away or keep the con running. So like
Yeah.
whether it was, finding out that the invention is really broken and doesn't really work, to the guy with the mechanical pants that was supposed to make him taller, that was like,
I mean,
oh,
Miss
I'll help you
Minute.
next week.
Miss Minutes drops that little nugget that you never even made me a body.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes you believe too that
Yeah,
eons he went on, kind of leading her on, like, oh yeah, we'll get you a body.
leading on an AI is crazy word, bro. That's crazy word.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like we leave off with Miss
Mhm.
Minutes and Renslayer back at the end of time,
Mm-hmm.
and there's this mega secret that Kang hasn't told Renslayer.
Yeah. Wonder what that is, bro. She gonna be
Shoot.
mad. That's all I know.
I mean, it's a really good cliffhanger because it's gonna reveal something. We're getting closer in these episodes to like the big theory moments, the big chunks that really make the series really good.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping it is next episode, but I'm thinking it's gonna be like 5 or 6.
I can't wait for Kang to meet Ouroboros, because those two together is gonna be interesting to see. Because it's like, yo, like Ouroboros has like answers to like almost everything except the beginning. Like literally the beginning of it and of the invention. He just understands how it all works, but he didn't make it.
Mhm.
So for him to write the manual, like, it's like, because in the comic books, Kang himself comes back to train Kang.
Yep.
And in this one, we're getting Miss Minutes and Ravana, Renslayer, to do all the heavy lifting, essentially, which makes it a lot more interesting, because it's like if it was another Kang to come back and teach him, then it's just like, well, the proof is in the pudding. It's already there. versus like because like all the inventions and stuff that's in the book and like how everything works and like um in the sketchbook and all his things that he can't do right now because technology is not there.
That must be it then, huh?
Like,
The thing in the sketchbook is how he goes and meets the
mm-hmm,
next king and
yeah,
starts the universal war that he's been planning. Or not planning, I guess
that inevitably happens because it's
that
like
inevitably happens. Yeah, he meets
it's
another version of himself.
yeah, and they took that out and traded that with the book
Hmm.
essentially,
Essentially, to lead him on the path to discover how to communicate
right?
with himself again.
Because he has the mind. Like the mind is always going to be there, but it's the
Yeah.
situation that changes it. And in this instance, it's Victor Timely, a man from Chicago, or no, he was from Wisconsin. He was from
Yeah,
Wisconsin in this joke because the taxes is a lot better over there.
yeah.
Yo, little stuff like that be
See,
getting me,
bro?
bro.
See? That's what I'm saying.
Yo, that's crazy, bro.
That's what I'm
That's actually
saying.
wild. But it's like to say all that as like, yo, he's just a con man, right? If it all ends up to be the same, what if it didn't? What if it led to like, because it's not going to be literally the same one unless they show us that it's
I
literally
mean,
the
we don't really
same
know
one.
who he remains, which variant it
That's what I'm
is. You know,
saying.
we
That's what
don't
I'm saying.
officially know.
Yeah,
It's just implied that it probably is Timely because Miss Minutes knows him. You know what I mean?
she knew to come right back to that specific one.
Yeah, it seems like she's like, oh, yep, this is
Mm-hmm.
him. Like, oh, you're gonna be a great man. You know what I mean? Kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
I know you,
Yeah.
but we'll see. But it's not really like dead for certain. Like that is he who remains. We just know for sure that's a variant of him.
King.
Mhm.
Wow. That's crazy, bro. I'm really thinking now. Because now that you say that, Loki and Sylvie's beef is even more like everybody want the same thing, but it's like, yo, like she was like, bro, you better be right about this. Because literally,
Yep, exactly.
if he asked her what she was going to do if Keynes came after her, right, or whatever, and she said she'll kill him. So the only difference now, in the sense of like the reason why she didn't kill him, was that it would have been just repeating the cycle. And you literally
Yeah,
said
yeah.
this like
It would
five
have been
minutes
her
ago.
pruning,
Yeah, like you literally said this five
essentially.
minutes ago, but it's now finally I'm starting to understand fully, like in context, what that
Yeah,
really
like Sylvie's
means.
kind of living up to her
Yeah.
morals, kind of like what you're talking about. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
living by, he needs to go and make his choices before I say it's time to end it. Like I
Yeah.
can't just prune his whole life
Mm-hmm.
before he even,
Becomes bad.
does
Quote.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So very, very interesting, and that was like just a huge thing
So
because
yeah. So why do you think this is gonna be a hard question to answer? So why do you think while watching this, I came to the conclusion, or I didn't come to the same conclusion that you did, that he was a con man in the sense of it being a bad thing? Like, cause you saw what he did and was like, oh, that explains everything, like from the beginning. But when I saw it, I was just like, oh yeah, get your money up, like. Like it was like I was like, oh yeah, like you gotta figure out how to pay for these inventions somehow. And he was talking to him crazy before that, like
yeah, cause the only reason why is because I remember that when Sylvie talked to him,
mm-hmm,
and then back when Sylvie and Loki were looking at each other like, oh my god, it's our decision now. What are we gonna do? And they
yeah,
both were on the two different sides of the coin,
mm-hmm,
and it just made me think, wait a minute, it's kind of like it's Victor, right? Victor
Yeah,
Timely.
Victor Timely. Yeah.
He, right before Sylvie's about to murder him, he
Mhm.
literally was like, "Oh no, what about your choice?" Like like he
Yeah.
knew,
He
like
picked that up within that short amount of time.
that short amount of time, and it reminds me
Mhm.
of con artists being able to like read people, know what they're
That's
about,
crazy.
and being like, and it just it reminded me when Sylvie said, "You better be right." It's kind of like, I know I should have murdered this dude. Like I know I should have murdered him,
Yeah.
but you and these dang morals and me having to stand on this, stand on business.
Stay on
Like
business.
yeah,
Drewski.
I, I have to let him go be bad first,
Yeah.
just so I could say I told you. I
Yeah.
told you this dude was gonna be evil. Because even
Man.
Loki has been
He does,
unsure of his answer.
and
You know,
that's my whole point. Is the fact that Loki is like you're saying unsure, but he's open to the idea
that
that
it's TVA is necessary.
yes,
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 he's open, and
and that's why
Sylvie
I'm
is
with.
like,
That's why I'm on that side
yeah.
because we know what happens, but
But it's kind of like weird because we know technically what Kang says is true,
yes,
but we know that the Secret Wars is gonna happen, and somehow
mhm,
the Avengers are gonna end up on the good
mhm.
side. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's really weird. So
yeah,
technically he's wrong,
yes,
but what Kang is saying in his version, what he did
hmm
worked, and it's
been
the
working.
only it's the band-aid, and
Yeah,
I can't think of another solution, so this is the best solution. But
hmm
Sylvie's kind of like, well, everyone should have the freedom to do whatever, and whatever happens from the chaos should
yeah,
be it. And
yeah,
Loki's kind of like, bro, if we just let everyone go crazy, like that could be the worst life to
yeah,
live in all of existence. Like, I don't think that's great,
yeah.
So, and that's probably the main thing I like about the episode because I've been waiting for Kang. I wanted to hear answers from Kang. And to be honest, like I said, this episode left me with more questions
hmm
because now I got to figure out, Miss Minutes. Did you make Miss Minutes? Is Miss Minutes based off?
Well, she said he did
Uh,
though.
yeah, yeah. But did he make it based off of the girl?
Yeah,
Who's the girl? Is she
yeah.
just a variant? Is she his daughter? Is she the wifey?
Oh
Is she a
man.
Kang variant? Like
Woo!
like there, there's a lot of possibilities because Miss Minutes is like, oh, there's a big secret.
Yeah,
Like I'm
there's a
like, what
reason.
you?
Right. You did all this, but you couldn't make me a body? You know?
Yeah,
Like, what are we talking about, bruh?
like
I
we
get it,
really don't know what's gonna
man.
happen there. We don't
What if
know is
she's a
Sylvie
what if she's a variant of him?
of Kang. Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
like how Sylvie and Loki
We've seen it
is.
with Sylvie.
Gosh, bro.
They could go down the
She
whole
is
She Who
power hungry
Remains.
too. She is
She
power
ran the
hungry.
TVA for eons.
Yep. She's
And,
okay with the decision.
unfortunately, think about it. I'm not gonna leave a rando to run the TVA. I'm gonna leave a variant
Mm,
of me to run the TVA.
bro. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
like it's just.
It's lit.
But we'll definitely see next episode. And I
Yeah.
mean, there are just so many questions.
hmm
Like, what is Loki and Sylvie's plan now?
Yeah. What happens after they get the scan that they need from Victor Timely to fix the little Luna thing, whatever it's
Is that
called.
even a smart thing to do? Like,
Yeah.
someone said, why would you bring He Who Remains to the TVA? Like
hmm
that don't even seem smart. And we still have to play off the fact that we know that Sylvie was like locked in the TVA from that very first episode,
Yeah.
and she was escaping. So something happens in the TVA. So
hmm
you got to be careful there.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's like when he get there, it's not gonna be no shock because he already has the knowledge of everything already. He just has not seen it. So once
he just
him and
hasn't seen it.
Obi link up, they gonna nerd out and it's gonna be over. It's gonna be over, bro. He gonna cut his hair, and he gonna have that fresh temp fade and go crazy, bro. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is
So
this is good. Reboot who, bro? What are we talking about, man?
maybe we're gonna get the reboot no, we're not gonna get the reboot in the series. They'd have to do it in a movie.
Yeah,
But hey, maybe they're planting the seeds for how they're gonna do this reboot. All in one new sacred timeline. You know.
that's crazy, bro. That has really changed my whole perspective on Kang now, because it's like you don't necessarily know, like, because I just watched the episode. Go ahead. What you about to say?
Didn't Kang manipulate the person when he crash landed on Quantumania?
No. Well, yeah, he did, but he just didn't tell her the whole truth of where he came from.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
And
she
then they
saw
worked
it.
on the whole thing and
Yeah,
everything, and then finally when they
she
did they
saw it.
touch her?
She saw it. She touched the chair, I think, something like that. Like she touched something,
Yeah.
and she
And then
saw
it was like, oh, you
what he
saw
did.
everything?
Yeah.
Hoo-yah.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta tap in now. Oh, that's so true, bruh. That is so
yeah.
true.
He made himself look helpless or something like a scientist or something. Like,
Well,
I may
nah,
need to
he
watch.
was stranded. They was both stranded, so they was both in situations where, you know, they
They
needed
were
each
just
other's
trying to
help.
get back.
Yeah, they just needed to help each other,
Yeah,
and
I think you're
because
right.
they was running partners, like
Yeah.
they, like you said, they was just trying to get back, but bro, nah, he a villain, bro.
He a villain. He a
He a
villain.
villain. He a big bad, yo. And there's a different type of big bad, because it's like when you think about Thanos and you think about Ultron, like Ultron is the in your face, like this is exactly what I was designed for type beat, like very straightforward, right? And
Like
then
defend Earth.
yeah, and then you get Thanos, which is like you get the balancing act
Yeah.
of like, yo, like I just
Kill.
want to I want to
Yeah.
get rid of
Make the
half of the
hard choice
people,
of
yeah, just so that like I know for sure we'll be able to like live in peace or whatever he was trying to say. And now you got Kang, which is like fully like I'm gonna do it myself type thing,
Yeah.
all on one side, and I'll master manipulate. I'll say whatever I need to say because I'm still inevitable at this point. Like, bruh,
Yeah.
nah, that's crazy.
And kind of funny that you brought up Ultron. I mean, Ultron's whole thing was I'm gonna kill everyone on the planet
Mm-hmm.
because
Y'all don't
they need
deserve
to
it.
evolve
Yeah.
and be stronger to prepare themselves for future war, which I guess he knew about Thanos or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
something that was coming. Like he realized humans are too weak. The
Yeah.
Avengers ain't enough.
Mm-hmm.
Because he said something like y'all need to evolve or something.
I forgot, but I know what you're talking
Or
about
maybe it
though.
was the mutants. Like he needed them to become mutants or something. But Ultron was like, "Yep, all
Ultron wanted
humanity
more than
just needs to go."
Ultron. Yeah, like y'all look at what y'all have already done. Like y'all can't y'all don't deserve this.
Yeah, and yeah, it's kind of like why would you go? Why would you agree with Ultron? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you might as well just stand and fight as much as you can against the opposing force, and if you lose, you lose. But
Mm-hmm.
Ultron's mindset was like, nope, not even leaving that to chance.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
we,
y'all are the wink link. So we're gonna
yeah,
get
he
rid of
done
you.
ran the numbers and said 10% chance to win.
Yeah.
Nope, we gotta bump that up to like 80. Like,
Right, bro. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. Marvel's still goaded, man. They still know what they're doing a little bit. A little bit.
no, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'd be giving them credit on sometimes until they wrap it up and then they do the
Mm-hmm.
real reveal, and I'm like, bro, we stuck, we in
Yeah.
mud.
Yeah. Before we get out of here though, like we talked about everybody except Mobius this episode. And Mobius it's like I'm trying to figure out who he is in this story, right? Because he literally left Ravonna to get bodied by Sylvie. Oh, we didn't even talk about how they got left in the. We'll talk about it after. But like Ravonna was like, "Yo, ain't no way you preaching to me right now, take beat." And
Yeah.
he kept saying like he was. It's crazy because he was like yelling, but he was like whispering at the same time. I never noticed it until now. But that's just like his voice though. But seeing her point out the inconsistencies with his logic of like, well, you sided with the Lokis. You know, like what we talking about? Like, I'm just trying to make sure that like the TVA is still here once all this is said and done. As soon as I left, look at what happened.
Mm-hmm.
He had nothing to really say about it. He was just like, I mean, there's more to his story, like type beat. So like, how you feeling about Mobius right now?
I mean, I think Mobius does want to know the actual truth of the TVA.
Mm-hmm.
I think his whole problem was like the timekeepers aren't who they say they were. You know, if it was Kang, like they knew, oh yeah, Kang is the rider of time.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mobius would be fine. You know, like oh no, we good. But the fact that it's kind of like Loki did reveal that there's this some type of conspiracy going on, and what we know about our history and how we got here and
Isn't
about these
exactly what
variants.
they said.
Yeah, and it just bothers him enough for him to want to find out more. While Renslayer is kind of like, nah, we're just gonna establish order again. Like,
Yeah, but my thing about Mobius is that like to me, he's open to everything Loki says, but it's like he don't be listening. You know, like
he is kind of like that. He is.
like Loki has spent so much time in these first few episodes explaining how dangerous and you know important it is to find Kang and figure out who he is and what's going on and try to just like fix it. But like when they saw him, he was like, "It can't be this guy." Like what, you know? But it's like
It's
he
shocking.
literally saw him. So where's the hesitation coming from? You know? And I think it comes down to like I don't think he wants Loki to be right. I think deep down Mobius just wants to go back to how things were and
Yeah, like he
is
opened the
like
box and now he wishes he could close the box, but he
exactly.
can't.
Exactly. So when there's times where he could step in and even if he can't change the situation, like offer some pushback on what's about to happen, he just looks and turns away and goes into the TVA because like
Yeah, he's like, oh, maybe Kang's not that bad. He looks like a
yeah,
inventor.
right. Well, I'm talking about when Sylvie looked like she was about to kill Renslayer, and he just looked at Renslayer, was like, I tried to warn you, and it did, and then didn't say nothing, and it just dipped, and it was like, bro, you don't want her for real, bro. That's how.
I mean,
That's
I
how I
think
was
Mobius is
feeling.
gonna have a big moment somehow.
Yeah,
Like they're pushing this dude to like
to the
maybe
brink.
he has a decision on if he's gonna restart the timeline or go back to like. It just seems like
He's
Sylvie
gonna
and
have to make a
Loki's
decision. Yeah.
yeah, Sylvie and Loki are just trying to present their sides throughout the series, and Mobius is the one that is learning about it and probably gonna get convinced to do what he
Mhm.
wants.
Yeah, cause Loki does look to him like not like a dad, but like he wants his okay because
Yeah,
he's his like not moral compass, but like you know what I'm saying. Like he grounds him in like okay. It's like he's like not his owner, but it feels like he's like his like Loki's like was like a pet in this episode a little bit. Like he just
bro.
nah, yeah, because he was like go ahead get him like that type thing. Whenever whenever they was getting disrespected by the big guy, right? Versus like easy now, easy boy, easy when they was inside and he didn't want to rough up old boy like that. Like, I don't know. It's a weird relationship, but it's like
I think
Loki
you're right.
does
It
want that
grounds him to the
approval.
TVA people,
Yeah.
the timeline people, and if he didn't have him there or
Hmm.
by his side, like his moral compass would be like way different.
Yeah. Because I
Kind
think
of like Sylvie, because Sylvie doesn't have anyone else to like ground her
yeah.
to the TVA at all. But
I
when
don't
you
think it
think
had.
about
I don't
those,
even think it has to be the TVA in general. I'm just saying, like, just ground them in, as like a person to be like, "Yo, do you think this is a good idea?" And it's
especially
like,
as a person who lost all their memories of everything, like
yeah, like Loki, Loki really be saying like, "Oh, I'm going to do this bad thing. I'm gonna go do this thing real quick," and he looks at Mobius and is like, "Is that okay? You think that's a good idea?" Type thing, and it's like, he's like, "All right, go ahead, go, go do your thing." But it's like, the level of force or like just the level that he goes to, Mobius is really good at like helping him like go through that.
yeah.
And you can see Loki trying to be that person for Sylvie, but all Sylvie sees is herself. And it's like, yo, I can't trust what you saying either. Like, we the same person, like, yeah, she need a Mobius. She need a Mobius.
She needs a Mobius.
She do, bro.
Get Sylvia Mobius.
Yeah. But I guess the last thing to talk about is Miss Minutes and Ravonda. You talked about it a little bit earlier on what their plan is and like who is Miss Minutes and the theories, because we gave a theory last time, and I'm really liking the one you just said of I keep wanting to say Ravonda, but it's not rolling off the tongue. But when Renslayer is a variant of Kang, I really like that one now. But how are you feeling about like the just like their play now? Because at this point, that Kang is running from both of them. He don't want no parts of them now. So, what do you think they're gonna do?
This is one of those things. It's just so many questions that you need
Yeah,
next episode. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think Miss Minutes can escape. Can she?
I mean, she got some parameters. Like she can't just do
Okay.
anything, because he
Because
put her in that little box.
she disappeared last time, right?
I mean, he
She
put
just
her
left.
he put her back in the little remote thing, the little pad or whatever.
Okay, okay.
So it was like a little pokeball, but it wasn't a pokeball.
Yeah, but the fact that I don't know why they do this. You let the AI that has all the knowledge of like the past, present, future, all about Kang, go
Yeah.
with an enemy.
Well, they didn't.
Like,
I don't think they knew that she was in there, because all that happened before. All that happened
you
before
think
they
like
got there. Like
it was in like her pocket? Miss
well,
Minutes.
nah. I think it fell on the floor when Sylvie came and exploded everything. But initially, because like the timeline goes, Miss Minutes and Kang get into the little office. She professes her love for him. He doesn't like that, so he shuts her off, puts her in the remote, and then Renslayer comes back into the picture. Then Sylvie and Loki and Mobius. So it was somewhere on the ground. She just picked it up. I think that's what happened.
Picked it up somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just didn't know
So
that she was in there. Type beat.
yeah, so pretty much like what they could potentially do. I think Miss Minutes is gonna give her some answers where they can try to thwart He Who Remains becoming He Who Remains. And that's gonna be, we're gonna go to the TVA, stop them from doing this, or you're gonna walk through this portal instead of him. We're gonna go find the variants of you. Somehow there is gonna be a way that Miss Minutes knows he needs to do this so he gets back here at the end of the time.
Yeah, like something's going to trigger him specifically to become who he needs to be to make her to do everything.
and I don't know what that could be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing it is that device. Once it does weave everything in one singular timeline, he has to place himself again somewhere to go meet himself, to go something. And I think
Yeah.
they're gonna try to do it with Renslayer. And will they succeed? There's just something about this series that's just making me think we're gonna get another loose end thing that they have to answer in a movie. But I
Yeah,
just can't
facts.
place the movie. I just cannot place the movie. Would it just be Kang Dynasty? An Avenger movie? That's
No,
so far away.
I don't know which one it would be. Um, no way happens in the Thor movie. It would have to be an Avenger movie
Yeah.
because
I saw a Fantastic Four movie, so
yeah,
I think it's probably whatever they do will get it's gonna resolve itself in Kang Dynasty, and it most
mm-hmm,
likely is um they they goof up. They goof up and they still let Kang go back to talk to
yeah,
himself.
because all he has to do is make that device that allows him to travel between
Uh,
all those
unless they
different
do
things.
something real, which I would not like, but it would make sense. Maybe Kang start. No, they have to set Kang on the path of Kang the Conqueror, right?
Yes. Well, no, they have to set Kang on the path of meeting the rest of the Kangs.
Okay, so we'll probably see that then. We'll just probably see that.
Yeah, like I think it won't lead to just one Kang. I think it'll lead to, like you were saying last episode, multiple Kangs, because they seem like out of the three, it would become one, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, so I think they're just gonna attempt to swap,
because there's a lot
but it's
more
just not
branches
gonna
now
work.
too.
Yeah, it just won't work.
Hmm.
That's it's a little boring, but I'm
I
just thinking they just want a little extra screen time, a little more
yeah
chaos going on in these last couple episodes.
yeah I think they saved the TVA, and I think Mobius is the one that ends up having to lead it. Um, but I
With all
do
the
think
branches.
yeah, but I do think I think they'll just probably end up making it like they're going to end up having to make a device that allows for there to be branches, but also it lead to one, not
No
singular, but
incursions.
like yeah, like something that's like makes it into like how like the like nylon rope is, like how
Yeah.
like it wraps around. So versus is like the ends being frayed, the closer you get to the middle or the other side, um it's just like tight. So it
Hmm.
works, but it's still connected. And like some device is going to do that, that Ouroboros is going to make. And
Yeah.
um
Just like a different type of sacred timeline thing.
yeah, but it's a one that allows for all the rest of the universes and all the different
To be pulled.
Spider-Mans and
Like you can pull a
yeah.
Spider-Man from one to help you out.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that
Yeah.
sounds really solid.
It's gonna be something like I don't know how they're gonna do that, but
Yeah, I don't
that's
know
what I
because
think.
that's why our Stamper Now is a critical question because at this point,
Yeah.
maybe they do reboot it. Maybe we just hop on just a tinier different thread
Hmm.
to tell a new story that
Soft
we can
reboot.
get soft reboot. Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Well, all right. Well, high hopes, high hopes.
Yeah, I hope
For the
so. I
next
hope this
episode.
ends good.
Yeah, I really like it. I really like it so far. Uh, Especially after you just told me that King is a con man, bro. That blew my mind. I ain't
Hey,
gonna
don't
cap.
do partners.
Yeah.
And then he want
No
to meet
friends in the
himself.
industry.
Partner. Come on now. I'm gonna meet myself and then we're gonna be partners. Nah, that's not how King
Right.
rolls.
Right. Solo dolo. That's
Hmm.
crazy. Well, yeah, man. All right. So what you geeked about, bro? What you geeked about?
I'm geeked about finishing up this series on Netflix. You know, we're getting close to the end of the spooky season.
Hmm.
We've been watching The Fall of House Usher on Netflix.
Heard about that?
Uh, very dark, very creepy.
Edgar Allan
Some
Poe, right?
episodes. Oh yeah. It's pretty interesting because it weaves a little bit of stuff in there. But the main thing I like about it a lot is it's really long and it takes a while to get into kind of the themes of each episode. But the only bad part is some episodes are a little too telegraphed on what's gonna happen, so then it just becomes a really long, drawn out episode. But some are peak dark, sinister stuff, perfect for the season, and I really can't wait to see how it ends. And it does seem pretty logical in the way that I think most people wouldn't find it too stupid, but they do have some stupidity
Okay.
multiple times. But it's interesting, definitely interesting watch. And if no one started that for spooky season, you got a perfect 8 episode, 8 hour show to watch. It's really good, and I'm super geeked to finish that. But what about you, G? Are you geeked about anything?
First things first. By the time episode's going to come out, the NBA is back, so that should be fun. And then Stranger Things, bro. I'm on season 2, and oh man, 11, 11, bro. She petty, bro. She petty, and that's all I got to say right now. And I really like how cool, like how that joint is really weaved in with Dungeons and Dragons, bro. Like, and how they explain things, because it's like they explain in a way where it makes sense to us, but like also like it makes sense how, you know, a middle schooler would rationalize the things that they're seeing, you know, versus like what the adults are seeing and being like so confused the whole time. But
and it be making sense.
Yeah, and I'll be like, oh man, like that's crazy. But the craziest thing I've done seen so far that was like wild was like Will threw up this little froggy thing, and now is loose, and they gotta find that junk. And yeah, Elle don't like Mad Max. She don't like Mad Max, and that's where I'm at. But other than Stranger Things, because I'm gonna say that until I finish, bro. It's really just been like I started Tokyo Revenger season 3. That's cool. That's like heavy lore that is getting explained right now. But it's like the fact that joint is like kind of like time travel type vibe. It's kind of confusing, but it's like it's like I can't really make no judgments until I see the full thing, because I don't know what's what, you know. It'd be like one part of the episode they say this is happening, and the next part of the episode is like nah, this is happening, and it's like y'all don't know what's going on, bro. Like, let's be real. And I'm at a point in the show where it's like things just got real, like, so it's lit. It's lit, but I don't have enough to where I can like really talk about it at a capacity like we're talking about Loki right now. But it's pretty good. But I think that's it, bro. Really. Yeah. It's been lit. All right. Well, appreciate y'all for tuning in to the podcast like y'all always do every week, bro. I appreciate all the love on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. We dropping clips now, man. We really have videos dropping 5 days a week now. 4 clips and 1 full pod. So stay locked in with us on YouTube. And then also we also got audio. I could not think of that jump for some reason. If you're listening to this on the audio platforms, man, rate the podcast, leave a comment. Let us know what y'all think about Kane's true nature of being a con artist, bro. Brought to you by our very own ChrisyLite. You know, that joint's gonna go up in the record books like Chris said it first. But other than that, we appreciate y'all for tuning in every week. We'll see y'all next week, man. Stay geeked. Peace.
Later, y'all.